Started, we begin with Attorney General Jeff Sessions recusing himself from any Russia or campaign-related probes. This as he's facing a storm of criticism from Democrats who claim he lied about his contacts with Russia's ambassador during his confirmation hearings. But Sessions denies any wrongdoing and is slamming his critics.
I think it was hyped beyond reason, and I think it was unfair. I don't believe anybody that was in that meeting would have seen or believed I said one thing that was improper or unwise. And it was really a sad thing to be attacked like that, but I think we've explained it, and we intend to move forward.
President Trump is also backing Sessions, saying he has total confidence in his attorney general, and then tweeted, quote, "Jeff Sessions is an honest man. He did not say anything wrong. He could have stated his response more accurately, but it was clearly not intentional." This whole narrative is a way of saving face for Democrats losing an election that everyone thought they were supposed to win. The Democrats are overplaying their hand. They lost the election, and now they have lost their grip on reality. The real story is all of the illegal leaks of classified and other information. It is a total witch hunt. Meantime, Democrats say Sessions' recusal is not enough and want him to resign, as others are demanding he return to Capitol Hill to explain his testimony. Watch.
I found his explanation simply not credible. You don't, I think, treat a visit in your office by the Russian ambassador as something casual, something not memorable.
The United States Attorney General should be brought back to the Judiciary Committee so we can know why he apparently falsely denied that he had meetings with the Russians.
It is clear that the recusal is not enough. This is the top law enforcement officer of the nation. He was under oath. And when you lie under oath, that's called perjury, and you go to jail for doing that.
All right, so Juan, I know you're going to have some strong thoughts on this, but let's go first back to how Jeff Sessions is firing back here, calling the criticism a sort of an admission from the president himself that he could have made his statement more accurately. Sort of a concession coming from him. Is that going to be enough, Meghan?
Listen, I think this is why transparency is so important in all administrations, why you have to have an absolute crackerjack communications team working for you. I think this is a communications problem more than anything else. I saw a tweet last night that showed the Russian ambassador present at Donald Trump's address this week, and I was shocked. I was like, wait, so he's coming to addresses, he's gone to the White House, he's met with Claire McCaskill, he's met with many senators. So this is my problem with this, is clearly, and he came under an Obama State Department project. That's why this ambassador was present at the speech this week. So this is my problem with Democrats right now. If you're going to accuse Jeff Sessions, if you want him to step down, come out, have the chutzpah to accuse him of being a mole between Russia and the campaign. You have no evidence. And at this point, my biggest problem is for those of us, again, I've said this on the couch, and Juan, I've talked to you about this at length. For those of us that have actual problems with Vladimir Putin, the fact that he's bombing hospitals in Aleppo, the politicization of this takes away from real concerns about Russia. And again, if you're going to go after Jeff Sessions this way, you got to go full blown and accuse him of being a mole for the Trump campaign. But all of you have no evidence to do it, and that's why you're not doing it. And in the meantime, if you have a problem with Russian ambassadors being present places, don't invite him to speak in front of our president at the biggest speech of his presidency thus far.
I keep trying to dig down deeper and deeper and understand what's the there. I mean, I don't understand. At the very end of the day, as we continue to make these connections and say this one met in this office and these people had this phone call, what is it that we're after? Was there a quid pro quo? Are we looking for evidence of a you do this, I'll do that? Or like when President Obama said, I'll have a lot more leeway in my second administration or whatever it is? I mean, what are we looking for? And how in God's name, if it's there, have we not found it yet? Because everybody's been working on this
That is the question that I was asking Juan. What are they after to prove? Because when you look at someone I've known her whole political career, Senator Claire McCaskill. When I lived in Kansas City, she was a local prosecutor. Right. So when you look at the arc of her career, she's not a woman who's known for not remembering big events. Yet she tweeted about meeting with the very Russian ambassador and couldn't remember when she was asked about it, but said, well, it wasn't like we had set up, it wasn't like had reached out to me or I had reached, I don't know how it came together, but y'all met. And you did it more than twice. You did it more than once. She did it twice.
The distinction she made is that she didn't have a one-on-one meeting with the ambassador. It was in a large group.
Neither
was her
did
distinction.
Yes,
he did. He had. Wait a second. Let's agree on one fact. The ambassador came to the senator's office on Capitol Hill.
It wasn't
the
one-on-one.
other people came in, but it was an arranged meeting one-on-one.
Wait, let me get in here and make it very clear that there is no proof of intention, and that is the president's point.
Well,
he could have made his statements more accurately, more clearly for the American public, but there's no proof of or any evidence of intention to mislead the public.
But the root of this problem
the question. I'm sorry. Just give me a second, Megan.
Yeah, of course.
My point was that when you have people who are, for some reason, not owning up to these meetings, it creates an ambient of suspicion. People are like, what are you guys hiding?
That was purposeful.
Why is Mike Flynn not telling us he had meetings and suddenly we discover? Why is he deceiving the vice president?
Mike Flynn's gone, by the way.
Yes, and why is Jeff Sessions having meetings and then coming before the Congress and not saying, yes, I had a meeting? What's the big deal?
Megan,
what's he hiding?
The problem for me, again, is that if this man is allowed to be present with all of our elected officials to listen to our president speak, he can't be that nefarious of an individual. So having Jeff Sessions meet with him after Democrats and our former president have also met with him.
That's a great point.
What is nefarious
But so
about
let me bring this back to the politicization of this that you started out with, Juan. And are Democrats overplaying their hand here, as the president is suggesting?
100%.
Well, I think they are, because I think that the recusal really was sufficient. I don't think that there's some arguments. I think we just heard some people say, well, he might be guilty of perjury. I just think that's pushing it too far, and I think that puts the Democrats in
because that's what Nancy Pelosi said in a written statement.
Well, clearly everybody, from as you pointed out, Sandra, the president to Jeff Sessions have said, he should have handled this differently. I don't think there's any argument about that.
Claire
But I will say this. Allow me to finish this point.
Go ahead.
That when you hear people say, what's the evidence? Because I think Melissa was asking this. What are we going after?
What are we going after?
But I think you got to remember, Melissa, now Mike Flynn is gone, as Sandra pointed out. Jeff Sessions and all of this controversy, people who were the Trump campaign manager, Paul Manafort, had to leave. Carter Page was on TV last night. He was an associate of Trump saying, yes, I had meetings with Russian officials. And now you get things like, Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law, saying, yeah, I was in one of the meetings with Mike Flynn. And at some point you start to think about, no, but remember the CIA, the National Security Agency, the FBI have put their name on and stamp on a report that said Russia was out to undermine democracy, damage and denigrate Hillary Clinton, and they favored Donald Trump.
Well, that was a great preview of what's coming up on Outnumbered. We're going to be talking more about that in a little bit.
Got me fired up.
Oh my gosh, it's a heat wave.
Hold on, you're bringing